Hey there, it's Rae Fancher from Finding Your Creative Bones and my 365-day Bible-based devotional. Today we're going to be talking about the word influence and lettering the word influence. I'm going to use my Tombow Fudenosuke water-based pigment ink pen to do the primary lettering. This is an interesting pen. It has a plastic nib you can see. So instead of being totally a brush pen, it's got this plastic nib and it's got a hard brush to it and it's very short. So it's not going to give a whole lot and you don't necessarily get a great big thick line off of it. But it's still a pretty great pen and the color is really pretty. It's a nice purple. I'm gonna use that, and then I'm gonna use some Derwent pastel pencils and my Micron O1, and then a tortillon to take and smudge the pastel a little bit. All right, so influence. Today's day 15 of the devotional, and influence is primarily the word that's being talked about in relationship to how we as individuals can be influenced by people around us, especially by our families. Influence can be good and influence can be hard or negative at times. It just depends on what your experience is. But what we have to be careful about is allowing ourselves to be negatively influenced by people we care about and love. Because it can go both ways. They can influence us to become really good people and caring people and kind, but they can also, without intent, lead us a little bit astray in the sense of, what we think. Because there's no doubt that we, as we grow up, are influenced by the people we're surrounded by. Children are nurtured or not nurtured by the people that they live with, that they're surrounded by, that they spend the most time with. It's just the way it is. And we have to recognize that sometimes that influence isn't positive. And it's a shame, but it definitely happens. And then as we grow older and become adults, it's up to us to figure out what might we need to change to be the people that we're being called to be by God. And I would pretty much guarantee you that all of us, or most of us at least, have something that we probably need to positively change as we become adults. Because no matter how much our parents love us and no matter how much our family cares, there's always baggage of some sort. It seems, and I hope that's not true for you, but it seems that we always bring something with us. And we have to learn to discern what that something is. And is it something that we want to continue in our lives? And maybe it is because maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that baggage is actually not baggage, it's a gift that we can use to turn around and learn how to be kinder and sweeter to the people around us, that to be more loving and giving and all the things that we're called to be by God. It's entirely possible, and hopefully this is the case for you, but it's entirely possible that you learned mostly or all good things, and therefore your baggage weight is maybe a little less than someone else's. But unfortunately, not everybody gets to grow up with the best of situations. So, my challenge today is to personally think about what might I need to change based on what I learned from not only family, but the people I was surrounded by in school as an adult. What am I compared to what I want to be and what God is calling me to be? What do I need to really think about? And I'm sure there are many things. Like many people, I grew up in a loving home. I was very blessed to have loving parents who really did want to provide the best for my sister and I. We had lovely vacations, and not that we travel in places to have fun. We went to family events and different things like that. But we had time together. And then when I was in late junior high and high school, we spent a lot of time camping and trying to have fun as a family doing that. That was nice. It got tiring. We went a little too often, in my opinion, but that's okay. But anyway, my parents meant well, and it was all because they wanted to have a happy family. But I also learned some things from my family that I do consider baggage. And sometimes I would say that's maybe bias in the sense of bias by what I learned, what I didn't experience, that type of thing. I have to challenge myself and have really all my life challenged myself to think a little more broadly than perhaps I would if I hadn't challenged myself for that. I also know that I was influenced by what things that happened in my family related to I had an uncle that was an alcoholic. And so that provided bias for me related to alcohol and what it can do to a family and the hurt and harm that can provide and cause. Provide is the wrong word, but cause. And then there were other things, of course. We all have things, but it's just something we should consider. God in the Bible asks us to think about. There's scripture that relates directly to us being aware of how we're being influenced by other people, and that includes our families. And it's just really important that we take a little bit of time to start thinking about that if you haven't ever before. And it's not to say we don't love our families because I think for the most part we always do and always will, whether they're still part of our lives or not. I've lost both my parents at this point, but doesn't change the fact that I still love them and I wish that they were still here. But I'm getting to be of an age where I wonder if I'm going to be here next year, let alone still have my parents. What I'm doing right now is I found online this morning this tangle drawing of just these little dots and then stems, and I really liked it a lot. So I thought I would add that to this card or whatever you call these, this little piece of art, and just enjoy it. One of the things I do with the tortillons when I don't want to pull out a brand new one for a new color is I'll turn it over and use the bottom of it to just do the smudging. And I'll be honest, it works just as well. And if I know like this yellow, I'm not likely to be using that again in the very near future for something. To be honest, this is the first time I've gotten this yellow out to use it. So I just thought, well, I'll just use the bottom of the tortilla. I don't want to fill the whole flower, petal, whatever you want to call this, in with pastel, but I do like it very much. Just gonna make them a little bigger. And there was no artist name with this when I found it. I would love to share that. I feel bad using other people's. This was a step out, and they, for whatever reason, just didn't put the name of the tangle with it, nor the artist name. But I really did think it was pretty. It's delicate. I like the delicate nature of it. And then when you start adding the color, it's fun. You can see I'm actually getting a little bit of the green in there. I'm not sure that's a bad thing. Anyway, our word today is influence, and I hope you will take a moment and think about it. And maybe you don't have anything you have to really keep in mind with it. But maybe there are some things that if you think about them a little bit, you think, maybe I could change this. Maybe I would be closer to God with that. And if you think about it, you might pray about it and see what happens with your prayers. I know I certainly will. I'll join you in prayer. See what's still influencing me that perhaps I need to let go of so that I can be more the person that God calls me to be. Join me in prayer, won't you? Until next time, God bless you. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day. Bye.